All right, so today we are taking a deep dive into Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, and I got to say, the amount of info you gave me, it tells me you want to go way beyond just like the surface level stuff. You want to really unpack what makes this guy tick.
Absolutely. We're talking about a guy who went from a 1-pound preemie.
1 pound.
Yeah, to the heavyweight champion of the world.
It's unbelievable.
It's a story.
And they named him after Mike Tyson. Can you imagine?
Talk about a namesake, huh?
Born 3 months early.
A fighter from day one, you could say?
Barely hanging on, and his dad's already sizing him up against Iron Mike.
It's almost like it's like destiny, you know? I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Paying less than a bag of sugar, and he pulls through.
That's resilience baked in from the beginning.
You could say that's where it all started, even before he could walk.
Right.
Before he even knew what a boxing glove was.
And it's interesting how that fighting spirit, you know, kind of weaves itself into his family history.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about deep Irish traveler roots.
Deep.
And for them, boxing, it's not just a sport.
No, not at all.
His dad, Gypsy, John Fury, a bare-knuckle boxer.
It's practically in his blood.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
It's a way of life, you know? For the
Yeah.
traveler community,
Right.
boxing, it's a path to respect.
Yeah.
It's recognition, a way to challenge those prejudices they face.
Which they still do to this day.
Oh, absolutely. It's about family pride, carrying on that tradition,
Yeah.
proving your worth when the world doesn't want to give you the time of day.
And you see that playing out in his amateur career.
Up.
Winning titles representing England and Ireland.
Come on.
That's a statement.
That's not just talent.
That's
No.
drive.
But then the 2008 Olympics.
Oh, don't even get me started.
What a mess.
Talk about a controversial decision.
Cost him a shot at gold.
Robbed, I tell you. Robbed. It's a real turning point, though, isn't it?
It is.
Because you see that raw talent, but you also see those obstacles,
Yeah.
things outside the ring he's got to fight against.
Exactly.
And you could argue the Olympic snub.
Oh, it fueled him.
Oh, absolutely. But it
Yeah.
also maybe planted those seeds of disillusionment
Yeah.
with how the whole system works, the politics of it all.
Right.
And that's something that definitely comes back later on.
Yeah, it rears its ugly head later, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
So then he goes pro, and it's like watching a demolition derby. Chuckles' one-man wrecking crew.
British, Commonwealth, European titles, he's just racking them up.
Unstoppable.
But then
yeah.
Deontay Wilder,
Wilder, 2018.
2018, that fight,
Yeah.
I mean, most people
Everyone I knew.
thought Fury had it.
Yeah, had it in the bag.
But it's a draw.
A draw. Can you believe it?
I still can't believe it.
What a fight, though. Talk about a spectacle.
Oh, it was electric.
It wasn't just about boxing. It was a clash of personalities.
The style.
Everything. And for Fury, that draw, almost as good as a win.
I think it was a win in a lot of people's eyes.
It showed the world he could hang with the best.
Oh, yeah.
Even when the judges didn't see it his way.
It really solidified that image of him, the underdog, the comeback kid.
The people's champ.
But, and this is a big but,
Yeah.
there's a shadow lurking over all this, right?
There's always a shadow, isn't there?
We can't talk about the highs without going into the lows.
That's the thing about Tyson Fury. The man's a walking paradox.
And those lows, they weren't just losses in the ring, were they?
Oh, no. This is where things get really real, really human.
We're talking about depression, addiction, a time when he even walked away from boxing completely, gave up his titles.
Yeah, vacated those belts, and it would have been easy to think that was it, you know?
Right, another flame.
Another cautionary tale. But that's not Tyson Fury.
No, instead.
He does what he does best, defies expectations.
And he gets really real about his struggles.
Oh, absolutely. This is where his story goes beyond the ring. It's not just about boxing anymore. It's about something...
It's human.
Yeah, exactly. He's vulnerable, open about mental health in a way you rarely see.
Especially in a world that often glorifies toughness, you know, like man up and all that.
Right, but Fury, he shows it's okay to not be okay.
That even a Gypsy king can have these struggles.
And that resonated. Oh, man, did it resonate?
People connected with that vulnerability. And when he came back...
What a comeback story.
Wilder rematch, Dillian White, it's like he was possessed.
Masterful. His technique, that jab, it was like watching a surgeon at work.
And then, boom, retires.
On top, undefeated.
Talk about a power move to walk away on your own terms like that.
It's the dream, right? Go out on top.
And you knew there was a but coming.
It's Tyson Fury. There's always a twist.
That retirement, it didn't exactly stick, did it?
Nah, like I said, always a twist.
Surprise comeback, the loss to Usyk, back and forth with the titles.
Never a dull moment.
It's almost like he can't stay away, you know?
Maybe the ring calls to him. Maybe it's something else.
But while he's doing all of that, inside the ring...
Don't forget the empire he's building outside of it, too.
Right. WWE, that autobiography, even his own energy drink.
The man knows how to build a brand.
This isn't just a boxer. It's a full-blown phenomenon.
He's savvy. He knows how to leverage that platform.
And he uses it for good, too, like that mental health advocacy.
Oh, absolutely. He's using his voice to break down stigmas.
Showing that it's okay to talk about mental health.
Which, let's be honest, we need more of that.
We do. We absolutely do. But we also can't ignore the, let's call them controversies.
Yeah, he's had his fair share, hasn't he?
Some of those comments, oof, they ruffled some feathers.
We're talking about women, the LGBTQ+ community, even some anti-Semitic remarks. All things he later apologized for.
And those apologies themselves, they become part of the story too, right?
Exactly. It's that question of sincerity versus strategy. Is it genuine remorse or damage control?
It's hard to tell sometimes.
And that's the thing about Tyson Fury. He keeps you guessing.
You never know what's coming next.
Which, let's be honest, is part of the appeal, isn't it?
I think so. It keeps things interesting.
And then, of course, you have the whole Daniel Kinahan situation.
Yeah, we can't just gloss over that.
That's a big one. His association with an alleged crime boss, not exactly a good look.
Publicly thanking him back in 2020, being seen together as recently as last year, it really makes you wonder about his judgment.
It calls into question his associations, his loyalty.
And let's not forget, it got him banned from entering the U.S.
Which, for a boxer of his stature...
It's a big deal.
Huge. It really makes you think about the price of loyalty, doesn't it?
It really does, because you look at Fury, and on one hand, you have this incredibly gifted athlete, a mental health advocate, a family man.
Right. And then on the other hand, these associations, the past comments, it's a lot to reconcile.
It really is. So how do we even begin to make sense of it all?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do we reconcile these seemingly disparate parts of his personality?
It's like something out of a movie or a Shakespeare play. The highs, the lows, those moments of pure athleticism, and then those shadows, you know.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure. And I think that's what keeps people coming back for more, that unpredictability.
Because on one hand, you have the Gypsy King persona, larger than life, always putting on a show.
And you got to wonder how much of that is calculated, right?
Exactly. Is it all an act? Or is there something more genuine underneath?
Because you see those glimpses of vulnerability, those moments where the mask slips, and you get a sense of the real man behind it all.
And that's what makes it so fascinating. Because it could be both, right?
Oh, absolutely. The showmanship and the vulnerability, they're not mutually exclusive. They could be two sides of the same coin.
Which maybe is what makes him such a captivating figure in the world of boxing. It's not just about the wins.
It's the whole package, the story, the drama, the controversies, the Tyson Fury experience.
You never know what's going to happen next, but you know it's going to be interesting.
And I think that's what sets him apart. He keeps you guessing, keeps you engaged, even if you're not sure if you should be cheering for him or questioning his every move.
It's true. He's a polarizing figure, no doubt about it.
But one thing's for sure, you can't ignore him.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. His childhood, his family, the highs, the lows, the controversies, the comebacks.
We've gone deep.
And I feel like we could probably do a whole other deep dive and still only scratch the surface.
There's always more to uncover with Tyson Fury. More layers to peel back.
Because at the end of the day, whether you love him or hate him, you got to respect him.
Oh, absolutely. He's a force of nature, a true original, a one-of-a-kind talent.
And as for that question, the one we started with, who is the real Tyson Fury?
Yeah, the million-dollar question.
I guess we'll just have to leave that for him to answer.
And maybe, just maybe, even he's still figuring that out.
That's a good place to leave it, I think. Lots to think about, lots to unpack.
Always is with Tyson Fury.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with me. It's been enlightening, to say the least.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk about the Gypsy King.